if Hamilton hadn't hit him in Austria and Albon had won, making him the championship leader. He seems like such a form driver. How much harder would it be for Red Bull to drop a race winner? That 25 points would also have put him straight up to 4th in the championship. Oh, okay, so if you gave him those 25 points today, he'd suddenly be 4th in the standings. Do you think seasons hinge on moments like that, Jolyon, or not really? He could do whatever he did afterwards.
If you give him the 25 points, he wouldn't quite be 4th in the standings, but he'd be right in the mix. Definitely, you can look at moments and think,
the rears are already gone. It's crazy.
it's obviously, and if Albon had taken a shock win at the season opener, even if it came through safety cars and strategy, he still would have turned up to the next race and, you know, had a bit of a strut about him as he walks around the paddock. He's the championship leader and he's have confidence and he can think he can take the fight to anyone. Maybe he still could have had that because, you know, he was trying to pass Lewis Hamilton and win the race. There's still a confidence he could have taken from the fact that he was taken out by the 6-time champ trying to pass him around the outside 4 position. But it's not quite the same as getting the points on the board. So it's a relevant point. I think fundamentally he's missing the talent of his teammate, and that's where trying to keep on track with Verstappen, trying to keep on turns, is where he's making more mistakes, and then it's spiralling away. And I think that probably would have happened regardless.
So matching Verstappen initial laps.
Latifi saying the rears are already gone. It's crazy, and he's on the medium tyre. 6 laps in.
That's the medium again. So yeah, the medium not looking good. Certainly the hard tyre is looking better for the race. I do think, I mean, I look back to my own career, and I was full of confidence heading into 2017. I had a really good pre-season test, and then Australia for me was an absolute disaster. I crashed the car on Friday. Didn't run anything in FP1. I crashed at the start of FP2, so I basically missed the whole of Friday. The car was then not put together properly, and the whole weekend was a write-off, basically. Then the next one in China, I didn't manage to qualify well because there was a red flag, and basically I couldn't put a lap in Q1. And it just put such a negative spiral on the start of my season, which I partly look back on and think that it was a shame that I was full of confidence.
Okay, Kevin, just some general feedback. If you focus on the exits and push the entries less, just give that a try. We'll have 2 more timed.
Would it have made any difference? Tough to know.
Do you look back and think that you should have been less negative after it, or is there nothing you could have done differently?
But I don't think it's necessarily me being particularly negative, but it's the atmosphere becomes negative. And it's the media. It's even some of the feeling within the team. For me personally, it really changed my dynamic in the team.
So matching Verstappen initial laps.
So Bottas being told he's matching Verstappen in the initial laps. What? So because end of 16 you were sort of on top of Magnussen and it was all sort of fine, and then 2 races in, the team thought, who's this guy?
Yeah, kind of. In pre-season testing, I was neck and neck with Hulkenberg, and then just had a couple of...
It's just the fronts are too cold.
There'll be 1 lap remaining.
No doubt, he's a strong driver, but the team then galvanised behind him, and he basically had an advantage that he took through for the most of the rest of the season, and it's difficult when you're on the back foot to try and recover, to try and close that gap, and that's... I mean, it could be identical to what Albon's going through, but it's certainly similar to the momentum forming very quickly behind Verstappen. And then once you're on the back foot, then it becomes sometimes harder and harder to swim against the tide of new parts going to the lead car, the stronger side of the garage being on the lead car, all the focus and the debriefs on the lead car. And it can be difficult to keep sort of punching up to that level when you're not necessarily given the same opportunity.
What do you think you could have done in 17 if Melbourne and China sort of hadn't? What do you look back and think of as kind of best case scenario, or do you not?
I don't. You never know, do you? You never know. And maybe it would have gone as it went anyway. But I think it was there was a moment where it picked up. Definitely, my season started off tricky, started picking up, and then that was that. But I don't really look back with this. This was in the immediate aftermath where I was sort of looking back on it and thinking that was a shame. But now I don't dwell.
Well, sorry to bring it up.
Yeah, shame.
A minute left on the clock in free practice 2, and Lewis Hamilton is going to end the session quickest, and Verstappen is going to end it second, with Bottas third, Perez fourth, Ricciardo in fifth. But still, not a huge amount you can read on those short runs. Hamilton really, he did his quickest lap on the second run on the softs. Verstappen's lap time is still one that he set on the mediums. And then FP3 tomorrow, if it's going to be a warmer day tomorrow, might be unrepresentative as well. So we're kind of in a bit of no man's land.
All to play for. I think Mercedes certainly looked the stronger on the low fuel, but even Bottas's radio message saying, you know, we're on terms with Verstappen. That's a bit negative, isn't it, for Mercedes to be happy to be level with